for me, that was what I was used to anyways, so I hadn't been the other way, so I don't think I think in this circumstance, sometimes you just, change can be good. If you're struggling that way, it's, you're hitting it bad off the tee, you go to a 3-wood, or change the ball or something that way. So just the change part and just being positive, I think it was just nothing really that, didn't help the first week, but then just kind of got into it and, and it's just kind of what we know, how we're doing it right now.
Have you seen the players respond positively to that change?
Well, I've seen them be positive the whole time, and I think I've seen them grow together as a team a little bit more. And that just kind of, we have a lot of new coaches on offense. I still don't know all the guys' names on defense. We got so many kids, but you're so worried about your side. So I think that part, and obviously if you win some games, it brings you back, brings you together. So they believe more, so getting confidence. It's hard to gain confidence when you lose.
Mark, what do you see particularly in Mickey's role, Mickey's involvement in the team growing together, when you mentioned?
I just see him in the meetings, and he comes in and sees me every morning or something, and then the afternoon, but I don't know what he's, I know what he's doing because I've been a head coach for 21 years, because he's coming in and said, man, I don't know about this stuff, but that's just part of it. So, he's still wants to be involved in the football part, which he's doing a good job. Some of the things we may add or stuff that way. So, I just think the entire staff has stayed positive and not early on. It's not woe is me, and I think both sides of the ball we built together, and I thought it was really great camaraderie in the locker room afterwards. Just finding a way to win, and that's what it's about at any level, especially where we're at right now.
That's a situation you guys were in on the drive, your last offensive drive. You had some clock management decisions to make, and for a guy who's not been in that position to do that, it looked like you had pretty good control of everything. And you were right there next to him most of the time on the sideline. What did you think of that sequence and the way that?
No, we talked. I mean, I was a head coach for, 220 games in the NFL for 100 games, and that's what I've always done. So kind of that way, been in a bunch of situations, whether you want to use a timeout, and we got one left, I'm going to use it here. Let's, talking to Casey, I kind of blew the one. They had a penalty, and I didn't think they'd start the clock. Ball went out, and it went, so I held Casey up and probably should have snapped it about 8 seconds longer, which has saved us 8. That kind of goes down to, I was fortunate to be with Bill Cowher. I think his record was 77-1 when he was ahead by 10 points, and he was always up my rear and Ben Roethlisberger's rear to snap it with 1 second. So we can get it to 2. And so we've practiced it, but we've gotten better at it. And, just talking with Mickey and Coach Bush and what we want and what we need to do, and here's what our thoughts are during the week. And I watch both sides of the ball anyway, just creature of habit. And it's just what you need to win, And it wasn't like, hey, last week was, hey, the best thing about last week, not going back, was when I walked in at halftime, the look in their eyes on offense, and we played terrible, and I did a bad job coaching all that, and we're bad on third down, was there wasn't like, woe is me. It was, hey, I said, we're going to take the ball second half, here's the plays, we're going to go down and score, and the game will be changed right there, and we're going to win the game. And that's it. And they all believed in it, and that's a credit to Mickey and to the offensive coaches and all the guys that way. Sometimes you go into like a little bandbox locker room like they had, and you can't see anybody. It's like junior high, but they kind of they're closer together and everything else. And so that's when you win on the road, it can really help you. And we're looking forward to playing Purdue, who's got a really, really good football team.
Mark, I know you don't want to get into specifics maybe, but what in general can you do with the O-line midstream to sort of fix some of those pass pro issues? What's sort of on your mind as you kind of take? Well,
we did the silent count, and I did a bad job. Could have helped out a little bit more on that, The ironic thing was we only had 1 sack. But you know, if you look at stats, that's how misleading it could be. But the second half kind of settled down and did some other stuff that way, and you know, we just, hey, you go on the road. It's hard to win anywhere, and it's hard to win at home. It's hard to win on the road, and we just didn't have any rhythm. We didn't have any kind of. But as I said, the kids showed a lot of resolve, and that was the most important thing. It's, you know, showed a lot of heart, and found a way.
You talked about those guys believing. Do you see that O-line still have confidence
Yeah,
in what they can do?
everybody knows when you don't play well, and I didn't. Even, I knew as a coach, I didn't play. I didn't coach crappy. We had a bad week. We had our worst week of practice. We only had one day and to work hard and get some things. We weren't very good that day, and I carried over. And the positive was, I talked to them Sunday and said, we got to have our best week of practice. You guys learned you can't practice like that and expect to play well. All right, and we've really flipped it this week. Has been the two best days we've had all year, and that's a pot. Now they had a day off, and I think that helped. They weren't really ready for the short week.
How big was it to get Travis? I know he's been kind of dinged up from that first game, but to kind of get him going in that passing game again.
Yeah, I know he's a big guy, and you know, he's a leader, and you know, he made some big plays, especially, you know, the touchdown, but another one, and then, you know, I told him we're going to go to him on third down in a 4-minute deal, figuring we were going to get man. So it made a big catch there. You know, and all those guys. Coach Beck's done a good job with all those guys. Travis has been a guy that's important. We missed him those couple days, and you know, he can be a real factor, especially in the red area.
Why didn't you trust your offense to get that 1 yard on fourth down?
Because 4 previous fourth downs we ran it every time, and we missed it on 3rd and 2, and we got to be careful with Anthony. And it was the exact same play that Ohio State had, and we dropped the ball. So that's why. So those are the reasons, you know. So, you know, we've been pretty good. We missed 4th and 2, and we missed 4th and 2 twice against Oklahoma and ran it, and so that was the thought. And we got the look we wanted. I was standing right next to told Mickey if I don't like the look, I'm going to get a timeout. Then we talk about whether we can kick a field goal, what you like that way. But we liked the look, and we just didn't execute it.
Saw Tommy Hill working out with the receivers. What was kind of the thought process behind, you know, him working on the offensive side? How much maybe input?
You know, he's go back and forth. He can be in the defensive sub packages, and he's just getting a little work. We're just trying to build some depth. You know, we weren't sure where Marcus was going to be, and all these guys got nicked up, and so guy can run and has done a good job returning. So just trying to work his ball skills and getting ready for the off week. You know, saying, hey, practicing a little bit now, and with the off week, we can maybe get him so the end of the season we can play both ways.
How much of a challenge is that for a guy mid-season to?
He's really embraced it, you know. So, you know, it's but he hadn't been under the lights, you know, that way. So, but it also gives us some depth in case something happens. We can get some plays possibly, and we'll talk. We talk more about that on tomorrow, since we had all the guys back today, which was good. Like last week, we didn't have Brody. Trey was nicked. All right, Oliver was a little bit nicked, so that was just kind of the thought process.
Mark, two more. Did you see what happened in the moment on that victory formation snap? We got away.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's done that. He did that in the NFL. And I didn't do a good job at telling Casey beforehand. I almost called timeout, but Coach Raiola had talked about it, you know, where they submarine your offensive lineman. So, as I said, I almost at the time I said, no, it won't be a problem. We hadn't any problem with snaps in case the ball was right there, so we had it, you know. But that's kind of what he's done in his career.
What challenges were you guys in 30 minutes?
Veteran group, all over the place. Graham's back, who's a really good player, number 6. They got guys up front that can rush the passer and play physical. The back end's veteran. Their corners have been back there. You look down, it's senior, redshirt senior, junior, all the way through. They're not playing any young guys. They're playing at home. They won 3 in a row. They come up and made big plays when they have to, so it's a real challenge for us. It's the best team we've played, I'd say, since Oklahoma, but maybe I'd say that Oklahoma played well against us, so it's a huge challenge for us.